Let's dive right into this explainer. We usually think of the major apps on our phones as permanent fixtures, right? Like these massive pieces of digital real estate that are just invincible. But today, we're going to look at a shocking, honestly, almost unbelievable event where a massive app literally vanished overnight. We're breaking down a recent crisis involving digital ransom, a gaping vulnerability in the App Store ecosystem, and the unseen wars being fought over user-generated content involving some truly vile tactics. If you use social media or any app with community features, you absolutely need to understand exactly what happened here. Section 1. The Midnight Disappearance. A billion user app vanishes. Just think about the sheer abruptness of this for a second. You go to sleep, and by the time you wake up, a platform with a billion users has been completely wiped from the Apple App Store. No warnings, no gradual phase out, just gone, right in the middle of the night. It really highlights the incredible centralized power of the App Store, where a simple flip of a switch can literally cut off access to a global communication network. The timeline of this attack is incredibly tight. It kicked off right at midnight when a bad actor planted illegal, highly malicious pornographic content into a public chat. Shortly after that vile content was planted, Apple pulled the trigger and removed Telegram from the App Store completely. But the resolution is just as wild. Within hours, the app was restored. The speed of this entire life cycle, from the attack to the takedown to the restoration, is staggering. It shows a highly reactive ecosystem where monumental decisions are made in mere minutes. Section 2. Anatomy of the attack. The invisible Trojan horse. So, why did they do it this way? Well, because normal moderation on the platform is highly effective, the attacker had to create an invisible trap. Telegram actually has really robust moderation tools for public groups. From a practical standpoint, it's clear that illegal content in these public spaces isn't a systemic problem. If someone just posts something illegal, moderators catch it and remove it quickly. So to bypass that system, the attacker couldn't just walk through the front door. They had to resort to a highly deceptive technical trick to sneak past the guards. Here is the exact step-by-step playbook the attacker used to bypass those normal chat moderators. Look at how calculated this is. First, they target an active public group. Second, they scroll way back and find an old buried message. Third, and this is the absolute key, they edit that old message to include abhorrent, AI-modified illegal content. And finally, they bypass the group's own moderators entirely and report that newly edited illegal content directly to Apple. By using backdated editing in an active chat, this illegal trap is completely buried. Think about it. Regular users chatting at the bottom of the feed have absolutely zero idea that a message from weeks or months ago has suddenly been changed to something illegal. It's effectively invisible. The community is totally robbed of their ability to see it or report it themselves, which allows the attacker to weaponize it without any interference. Section 3. The Takedown Extortionists. Unmasking the Adversary. So who does this? Well, this wasn't just a random troll having a laugh. It was a calculated extortion ring demanding a payout. A takedown extortionist is essentially operating a digital protection racket. They approach the owners of these legitimate, thriving online communities and demand a ransom. The threat is simple and sinister. Pay us, or we will systematically destroy your community by getting you banned. It's a modern, highly malicious evolution of extortion. When a legitimate owner refuses to pay up, these gangs unleash automated bots. They execute that invisible Trojan horse playbook we just talked about, planting the illegal content and then intentionally triggering a takedown. They are literally weaponizing Apple's own safety policies to punish their victims. It's a really dark irony that the exact mechanisms designed to keep the platform safe are being hijacked to destroy legitimate communities. Section 4. Apple's overreaction risk, a systemic vulnerability. Listen to this quote from Telegram. Apple removed Telegram from the App Store before contacting us. I mean, let that sink in for a second. Instead of reaching out to the platform to say, hey, we got a report of some highly concerning content buried in one of your groups, can you look into this? The immediate action was a total platform ban. This suggests a heavy reliance on automated, punitive measures rather than collaborative human review, which plays perfectly right into the extortionist hands. And consider this number. 1 billion. That is the number of users on Telegram, proving that absolute tech giant power can disrupt massive platforms instantly. We are not talking about some small, niche app built by a solo developer in their garage. This is a global communication infrastructure used by over 1 billion people. If an app of this magnitude can be deplatformed without a single warning email or phone call, the systemic vulnerability is massive. Section 5. A warning to all. The threat to user-generated content. Now, Telegram has dealt with coordinated reporting gangs before. They have the institutional knowledge to identify these invisible traps and restore order quickly. They have the resources to fight this. But what about the thousands of other social apps and independent forums? Think about the broader ecosystem that simply does not have the same level of preparedness or the financial resources to combat these vile extortion tactics. These evolving risks serve as a dire, truly urgent cautionary tale for app developers everywhere. The extortionists have successfully found a blueprint to manipulate Apple into overreacting. And that creates a massive systemic risk for literally any mobile app that allows users to generate and share content. The tactics of these bad actors are constantly evolving, getting smarter, and utilizing tools like AI to plant this horrific material. Legitimate communities across all platforms are now sitting directly in the crosshairs of these digital extortion rings. Which brings us to a really uncomfortable question. If an app with 1 billion users isn't safe from an automated trigger finger, is yours? The next time you log into your favorite forum, social network, or group chat, remember the invisible wars being fought every day just to keep it online. The digital landscape is shifting fast, and staying informed is for sure your best defense. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep your eyes open out there.